Hi, my name's Charlie Redden. I'm the supply chain manager at Taylor Guitars. I'm here at the Sustainable Brands Conference in San Diego, and I want to remind you to show them you're good.
You did it.
Is that all right?
It's perfect.
In 2008 and 2009, we experienced the recession like most other companies. Fortunately for us, we didn't see the dramatic decrease in revenue like some other companies did. So we were fortunate to hold on to most of that. But rather than laying off workers, we took advantage of what the state of California has as called a work share program, where if we decide to cut hours back for employees that are currently employed with us, the remaining hours to make up that 40-hour work week could be claimed as unemployment. So instead of cutting 20% of our workforce like some companies did, or certainly what we could have done, because our people are craftsmen, they're craftspeople that really understand how to build a guitar, we didn't want to lose them and have them work for another industry and maybe never retain them back. So we tried to retain every employee that we could by using this work share program. And every employee that we had during 2008 and 2009 was retained at Taylor Guitars, working a 4-day work week and collecting unemployment on that 5th day. It was a company-wide program that everyone participated in. And that allowed us to keep the employees that we knew had the skills that we really needed to keep, but also, more importantly, we wanted to keep everyone employed and make sure that they had a job for the future when the recession ended. The good thing about Taylor Guitars, though, is that once we have a problem like this and we've overcome it and everyone stays in and everyone stays on board and we get through this, we're rewarded too. So after the recession ended and our sales came back, the owners of our company, Bob Taylor and Kurt Listug, gave every employee that participated in the work share program a bonus to thank them for their sacrifice from the year prior. Ebony is actually not an endangered species, not yet at least, but some of the problems that we've seen with ebony is there's no land management, there's no forest management in any of the countries where ebony is produced. We saw an area of opportunity where I'll go backwards. We saw an issue that may come up with ebony in the future. If we're not careful, it will become an endangered species. A lot of the ebony that's harvested in different parts of Africa are harvested illegally, they're poached. Some of the situations that we deal with aren't necessarily because of outside demand. Sometimes it has to do with the people that are living in the forest. They need to use that wood for energy. What we've noticed in working with ebony is that there was no supplier that was ever going to give us a true, legal, sustainable source of ebony. So we had an opportunity last year where we partnered with one of our major distributors in Spain, who distributes wood for the entire tone wood industry, to purchase a sawmill in Cameroon, where we could, for the first time, have control over the supply chain of ebony. Since then, we've worked with the Cameroonian government to weed out any of the illegal practices that may come up, such as bribery or falsification of documents, things of that nature. And we're working towards getting a supply chain set up of ebony in Cameroon so that it's legal, it's sustainable, it's traceable, and we're putting more money back into the workers that work in Cameroon so that they could increase their quality of life. Right now, a lot of those workers make so little money, and unemployment in Cameroon, in Yaoundé itself, is over 80%. So if we can help set an example for other producers in that country where we can increase their value of living by putting more money into that country and allowing those workers to be proud of what they're producing while we're creating a sustainable and legal product, we're going to market it that way, and hopefully we can start to turn the tide in any producer or any company that's in Africa right now. The way Cameroon works right now is there are concessions to cut any species within a certain plot of land except for ebony. But for ebony, there's a permit to cut it anywhere in the country, no matter whose land it's on. So ebony in itself is problematic only because that's the one species that seems to fall outside the harvesting rules of all the other species. So in order for us to do that, we have to have a permit to cut ebony or a permit to cut anything else. Obviously, we're looking at the ebony because of the nature of the species and how it works with musical instruments. But So we've acquired a permit where we can cut ebony in any part of the country, or on any concession that we want. There's probably some issues with that for the landowners, because they look at their land as their land, and here anyone can come in and cut ebony on their land, and they're probably a bit upset about that. But what we're trying to do is work within the confines of the government so that we understand the laws and the way things work there. And once we've kind of established a procedure and shown our good faith in what we're trying to do for the people of Yonde and the species in the forest, then maybe we can help them with some better forest management plans. The one thing about Taylor guitars that everyone should know and they don't, speaking personally in supply chain and working with sustainability and the rare woods that we use, we put a lot of effort into making sure that the woods that we buy are sustainable and they're ethically harvested. We work directly with the communities in Central America, in Honduras. We have a project right now in Fiji where Fiji has the largest plantation of mahogany in the world. We work closely with our Indian rosewood suppliers. We make a point to visit every one of those suppliers as often as we can so that we understand what they're dealing with. We understand the laws of their country. We understand how we can better their business as well. But for a guitar player, I think a lot of times it's the love of a guitar that most people look for when they go into a guitar shop. And what makes Taylor unique is its playability. And I think that's why a lot of the artists that play Taylor guitars play our guitars, because of their ease and playability. And for those that own Taylor guitars, they kind of know what I'm talking about. But for those that don't own Taylor guitars, I would recommend that you go try one and see how easy it really is to play.